The Algo setup mainly comprises, first one is the broadcast, and broadcast is normally one way, and you basically get the live prices from the exchange. Second, there was interactive connection, where it is two-way and orders are basically sent and received, right? So that was one more channel which was very, very important. Then we had OMS, which basically takes care of order management. Right? So in order management also, there are different types of order. So we learned that types of order are basically the market order. You also have limit order. You also have regular order, stop loss order, which are there. And apart from that, the other orders are IOC, bill or kill, GTD, GTC. Right? So there are different variety of types of orders which are there, and those orders can be sent to the exchange through the OMS. Now, when you're sending the order through the OMS, the point was once we send something, you will receive back from the exchange. So those are nothing but your pending order, and if the execution is confirmed or execution is done, it's basically called as execution. Or sometimes the order also gets rejected by the exchange. So all these outputs you can get feedback from the exchange. It can also be modify order. So you can modify the order in terms of quantity, in terms of price. So majorly this was the basic overview of OMS, or what you can do in OMS. We are sending different types of order, and once we send, we can either have different formats of execution on those orders. So execution can take place. If it is in pending, it can get rejected, and you can also modify the order. Lastly, you can also cancel the order. So all this type of order that you're sending and the action taken on the order is done through OMS. So in short, we can say all the order related stuff basically goes through OMS, right? Then you had something which is very critical and important called as RMS. RMS is nothing but your risk management system. Before you are sending any order, it has to go through RMS, right? And who will set this RMS? It's basically the broker who will set the RMS, how much quantity is allowed or not. So it can be based on quantity, it can be based on exposure, it can be based on turnover, right? So all those key elements of risk can be present or can be placed using these tools by the broker. So even on the margin or on the cash. So basically there are different segments. So one is the cash segment and the other is the derivative segment. Right? So the cash segment, where you will buy and sell, you have to put money first, you have to give it to the broker, and then only you can do buy and sell. And in derivative, you need to provide margin, then only you are allowed to take exposure. So these restrictions are basically done by the broker, okay, and it is basically comes under the formation of risk management system. Now the most important part of this RMS was trade ratio. So in Algo system, the trade ratio is uniquely important, right? Because trade ratio is nothing but number of trades done, okay, on modification. Now you can modify the order over and over again. As we can understand, OMS allows us to modify the order. So when we keep modifying the order, that does not mean you don't have to trade. At the end of the day, you need to also satisfy the amount of modification done with respect to trade. So let's say if trade ratio is 3%, This means every 100 modification, 3 order needs to be traded, right? So that's where the trade ratio is also important. So trade ratio is there, which is one of the part of this risk management system, or you can say RMS. If you violate this, obviously you need to pay the penalty. And the last part, which is the heart of the Algo system, is strategy engine. Right. So in strategy engine as well, there are different components. So the first one, which is nothing but backtester. So whatever logic which we will write today, we will try to see how a backtester is used in order to assign the trade report, which basically shows whether you are profitable or not. So this backtester is a tool where you put your logic and test it in history over the old data, whether things are working or not. So once you do back testing using this back tester, you get through historical data a trade report which says your strategy is actually working or it's not working. If the strategy is not working, then you need to do something called as fine tuning, which is nothing but optimization. So you need an optimizer, right? So now you need a back tester who will back test your strategy, and if it is not working up to the mark, you might also want to do optimization. So optimization is basically done by the optimizer. So these two are more important on the strategy engine side. Whatever logic you're trying to put, okay, you need to have a back tester and you need to also do the optimization. Once you are done with these two and you think the strategy that I have designed works well, I want to now go live. Before that, there is one more step that one has to follow. So after optimization, you need to basically do simulation. So what is simulation? Simulation is nothing but the live data comes through the system, your logic gets reiterated and it generates buy and sell signal. The signals are sent to the exchange, but it is not being traded. So it's basically paper trading or dummy trading in the simulation mode. Whether trades are going right or not, OMS is sending the order or no, confirmations are coming from the exchange or not, but it is not being traded in live market. After this, once you are satisfied with this kind of beta testing, you can then move out from simulation to the last juncture going live. Right? So now you can basically go live into the exchange, and as I said, we can go through two sources in the live environment. One is the core API of the broker, who basically writes all the gateways which are connected to the exchange, or you can use something called as RESTful API. Now, which one is faster?
Core API.
Core API is faster. Okay, and RESTful API is nothing but a wrapper on this core API. And why it is needed? Because if you are not that savvy to connect all the peripherals of the Algo system, he gives you a tool called as a RESTful API and a manual how to connect each of those segments. So overall, we can say these are the 5 major elements which one has to understand. Now, these 5 elements basically make your Algo system, or I can say system architecture, right? So this is how your entire Algo system or any Algo system would look like. Okay, it should have these 2 channels where you get the live broadcast and you send the orders to the exchange. You have OMS and RMS, and you have the heart of the Algo system, which is nothing but the strategy engine. Now 1, 2, 3, 4 will always remain constant. It will not change. Right? If you are connecting it, obviously you need broadcast, you need interactive socket, or you will need OMS or RMS. 1, 2, 3, 4 does not change. What changes is the strategy engine part, the logic that goes in this strategy engine. So agenda is basically to fine tune or get the best strategies over here. And once you place the strategy engine, what kind of logic you are trying to assign, that keeps changing. So it also, logics can also change based on any kind of market. So example, if you are making a logic in FX, it will be different. you're making it in equity, it will be different. If you're making in commodity, it might be different. So the agenda here is the logic keeps changing based on the market that you're trying to access or trying to make your trading style. So agenda here is these things can change, the logic can change, the product can change, but the strategy engine becomes the core functionality of your